My name is Maren and I'm a self-qualified teacher and I've been teaching English since 2004. I first started working with the Foundation for Cyril and Metodius in about 2009 when they organised the first summer school in Arcutino, and I was one of the teachers who actually taught there for a month. So that was my first contact with the foundation. Currently I've been working for them for perhaps the last 3 years, mainly teaching IELTS, but also teaching CAE speaking and CPE speaking. IELTS tests is a test which people take if they either want to study abroad in overseas universities or if they actually want to immigrate, or specifically for work purposes abroad. So the IELTS test is divided into two parts. There's the academic part for people who want to study abroad, and there's the general part for people who want to immigrate or simply work abroad. Within the IELTS itself, there are 4 different parts. They test all 4 parts of the English language: reading, writing, listening and speaking. The IELTS is, I think, is a very practical exam because it's not just testing the ability to survive in an academic environment overseas, but also to perhaps survive dealing with everyday situations. So that's why I think it's a very practical exam for people to take. The IELTS exam is one of the requirements by an increasing number of universities abroad for people to study there. It's a requirement by the universities where the people actually want to study. So it is the passport for them to actually be able to study at an overseas university. That's the benefit to them. Without that, it isn't impossible to study at any university, but it is more difficult. IELTS isn't the only English language certificate that people can take if they want to study and work abroad, but it seems to be an increasingly popular one. And I think it's popular because it is a very practical exam. I try to approach the actual teaching of the IELTS from the view of the student themselves. Try to put myself in the position of the student. If they're doing a listening test, what do I think will they find difficult about the listening test, and why would they find it difficult? So I try to put myself in their position so I can perhaps give them appropriate advice on actually how to deal with the various parts of the listening. So I tried to put myself in their position about how would I deal with the situation about not being able to understand certain words, and what advice I can actually pass on, trying to be in their position. I think inevitably studying abroad actually probably opens your eyes to lots of different things that perhaps you wouldn't come across in your own country. Certainly you actually have to certainly I think you come across different cultures, and it opens your eyes to different cultures, perhaps different ways of looking at things, different beliefs. Obviously I think people are seduced by the reputation of overseas universities and perhaps the prestige that is associated with studying at an overseas university, and for a lot of people that is very important. It's also very important, I think, to be able to mix with the right type of people in these types of universities. As regards Bulgaria, I really like Bulgaria. I think Bulgaria as a country has absolutely got wonderful, wonderful countryside. Some of the scenery in Bulgaria is some of the best that I've ever seen anywhere in the world. I think for people, I generally believe that people are more or less the same wherever you go. There's good and there's bad. And I think Bulgaria is no different in that respect. There's some wonderful people and there's some people perhaps I'd rather not know. I'm always surprised by the amount of determination and discipline that the students actually have. Most of them are either attending school during the day, some of them are also working during the day, and then they come and they study for another 3 hours in the evening. So I'm always amazed at their determination, but they're ambitious. They're ambitious because they take the IELTS. That means they are ambitious.